his dragon. Not many people know Death has a dragon, his faithful warrior, his friend, and confidant of the highest order. When Death needs people to pay for their misgivings, his fiery companion is there, with eyes burning as hot and bright as any sun, yet is as calm as any pond. Death relies on his winged friend more than one would rely on a spouse or sibling or parent. Death would keel over in empty nothingness had anything to ever happen to his loyal partner. Yet that is exactly what happened after a blisteringly painful series of events. Death had a particularly interesting revelation with a living he was meant to take. He realized if he plays with the living past their expiry date, they turn into frightful, horrific demons, ones he calls berserkers, and cannot handle all too well. They are powerful, clever, and fierce, beyond that of a basic deadly. Death was intrigued and wished to learn the edge over these berserkers. He began routinely passing expiration on more and more living and holding off on threading them to the other side. He found out the longer living are kept past expiration, the more dangerous the resulting berserker becomes. Death went too far with one living, however, passing expiration by 800 years. He was overpowered and did not get a chance to thread them. At every turn, the berserker outmaneuvered, outpredicted, and outsmarted him, ultimately escaping his ability to thread them and lost him in the fog of night. Death knew he had to call upon his friend for assistance. He is well aware his flying brother-in-arms is wildly more powerful than himself and is humbled in the thought of being able to call upon such a magnificent creature. In order for Death to beckon his friend, he must only whisper the name of his beastly companion, and he will show himself. So he does just that. Valil. Just then, Valil bursts from the ground and soars through the air, stretching his wings and shaking the dust from his thick, coarse fur, and swooped himself down, landing beside Death, awaiting any order to come. Death asked Valil if he would do the honor of assisting him to find the missing berserker. And in a whoosh, Valil began his mission, leaving Death behind. Valil searched every mountain, every body of water, and every fissure he could. He soared across deserts, forests, and land masses across the earth. He was ready to begin his search all over again until he spotted the berserker in a cave on a small island in the ocean. Valil smashed his head into the cave and tore the berserker out and tossed him across the island with a fierce roar as the berserker smashed against a large boulder. Valil charged the berserker once more and landed next to the boulder, but he did not see him. He looked around, and the berserker jumped on his back and began charging up, digging fist-sized holes in the flesh with every thrust, until the berserker stopped at the nape of Valil's neck, slamming his arms through his tough skin and cracked his neck with a snap not only heard but felt by Death, reverberating throughout his essence like water through paper. As Death mourned his faithful comrade in disbelief, stunned in motionless silence, angered by his reckless curiosity of the living, the berserker walked towards him. Death slowly looked up, and with a moment of ironic introspection, his so-called life was ended, and Death was threaded to the beyond.